After having defined strengths, studied different systems, and some of its different expressions, we'll now focus on concrete action. How can we work to increase maximum strength? Then we'll see different methods to use on the field and their goals: maximum strength, speed strength, power, or mass gain. I will present you basic methods and how to put them into practice. Let's start with maximum strength. It is the heaviest load we can lift in one rep. To work on this strength expression, we will use global and polyarticular exercises, such as exercises you can find in powerlifting competitions: squat, bench press, and deadlift. Depending on sports, we can use other movements, such as weighted pull-ups, the maximum weight you can handle for one rep, or rowing on a bench. We can also adapt basic movements depending on each sport specificities. For example, close grip bench press, incline bench press, front squat, sumo deadlift. We will only use global and polyarticular exercises to increase strength. Analytic work implies that exercises only focus on one joint or on one muscle group, for example, flies for the chest or leg extension for quads. They are not adapted for maximum strength. Another point, loads must be very heavy, as we aim at stimulating fast fibers. We work at least with 85% of maximal load we can lift once. We perform a number of reps inversely proportional to the load. Between 6 reps, which is the maximum for strength, work around 85% of 1 RM until the maximum we can do. Most of the time we'll stop after 2 reps, with load of 95 to 96% of 1 RMM. We keep the 1 RM for testing or competition for the powerlifters. Recovery times have to be very long when we deal with maximum strength. The minimum is 3 minutes and can last up to 6 to 8 minutes. 2 main axes. The first one is a psychological recovery. The athlete has to be highly motivated and focused to repeat the same effort with very heavy or extreme loads for the most experienced athletes. The second one is a physiological recovery for phosphocreatine. It is a substrate used to supply energy in this system. After 3 minutes, the body usually restored 90 to 95% of its reserves in phosphocreatine. The body needs 6 to 8 minutes to have 100% of its reserves back. If we multiply sets and reps, we won't be able to get back to the initial stock. Number of sets, usually between 3 and 5 sets. 3 sets when we work on heavy loads such as 90–92% or more. 5 sets while working with 4 to 6 reps. An easy way for a 4-week cycle is to start the first week with 5 times 5, 4 times 4 the second one, 3 times 3 the third one, and the last week finish with 2 times 2. We progressively increase the load while we reduce at the same time the volume and number of reps and sets. We can also use maximal isometric exercises to increase maximum strength. For this type of work, we need loads between 100 and 102% of 1 RM. What's the point with that type of exercises? The athlete has to hold the position at critical angle or at a certain angle he wants to work on. In physical preparation, if we use the isometric method, we have to focus on one specific angle, the most important to develop in the practice. This is the best way to get a huge increase of strength. How to put these exercises into practice? First of all, like maximum strength workouts, we absolutely need to have experienced spotters to help the athlete find the proper position and to lift the load after the training. We start in a critical position. With bench press, arms have to be at a 90 degrees angle. Elbows are 5 to 10 centimeters above the chest. The position has to be held with heavy loads for 6 to 7 seconds. If we hold the position more than 10 seconds, it means that the load is too light. On the opposite, if from the moment we stand in the critical position, it is too hard to maintain the load, it means the load is too heavy and has to be readapted. We'll work on the same pace than for the maximum efforts, with the same number of sets. As far as maximum isometry is concerned, we have to pay attention that for the physical preparation, which require high speed and high power, we tend to reduce speed. That's the main drawback of this method. This method has to be used sparingly, or we can consider other method in which we could introduce an isometric phase. We'll talk about it later, about thinking about the statodynamic method.